Good afternoon, everyone in LEC land. This is Dr. Ana Valdez once again with Ask an Educator. However, we have a special treat for you today. We're going to do Ask a Storyteller because, as you know, we have our fellowship program. Oh gosh, it just went out of my head. Expression. And we are featuring this month the participants of that fellowship. And we are very fortunate today to be joined by Jessica Polk. Jessica is out of California, and so happy that we were able to coordinate schedules to have her join us today. So let me tell you a little bit about her, and then we'll bring her on for our conversation. So Jessica graduated in 2007 with a Bachelor of Arts in Social Work. And in 2009, she graduated with her Master's of Social Work. Both degrees were from San Diego State University, home of the Aztecs. So if you're out there and a big Aztec fan, we're going to hear all about her excitement there at San Diego State. Jessica is a mother of three young children, ages 6, 9, and 11, and she's been married to her husband for 13 years. So she has her hands very full with those kiddos and her husband. Jessica currently holds several roles at CSULB, including serving as the co-director of diversity, equity, inclusion, and accessibility for the College of Health and Human Services. In addition, she teaches graduate level and undergraduate level social work classes and provides mental health services through her private practice. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, I introduce to you Jessica Polk. Jessica?
Hi, Anna, and hi, everybody watching. I don't get to see you, but you get to see me. I do apologize for my background. I expected to be at home today, but I had to do something, and I'm here in my car, not driving. So thank you for having me.
No worries. And thanks for clarifying to everyone that you're not driving. You can be in an autonomous car, but who knows? But that's good that you're not driving. So in your introduction, I shared with everyone that you are an Aztec, a San Diego State University Aztec. So I just have to give you the opportunity to share with us what you were sharing before we got on camera about your enthusiasm for the Aztecs.
Oh, yes. Well, San Diego State was an amazing school. I was just actually in a meeting right before this meeting where they were naming the top social work schools in California, and San Diego was right above Cal State Long Beach. So they were pointing me out like, oh, your school is better than ours, but don't tell anyone. But anyways, Cal State Long Beach is also a great school of social work, right? I think we're number 4. I think they're number 3 potentially. I don't remember the first and second. Anyways, so yes, it was a great, amazing. If you guys haven't been to San Diego, out of I might get some feedback on this, but of all the cities in California, I think San Diego is the best. I do not live there right now. I've lived here in Los Angeles for 13 years, but we do go to San Diego for little staycations. It's a 2-hour drive away. So yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's fantastic. And hey, you know what? If you promised the Cal State folks that you weren't going to share it, you just shared it on social media. So it's just our little secret.
It'll be our secret.
Well, Jessica, thanks so much for joining us today. I love the opportunity to get to meet folks from all over the country that participate in our Expresión Fellowship. And so before we get into that fellowship and how people can get involved with that, because that's coming up for applications again, tell us a little bit about who Jessica is. I read your bio or your intro and saw that you're a mom and you've been married for 13 years. But tell us a little bit about before Jessica became a mom and before she was married, who is she? And why should we get to know her? And you seem like a really cool person, and I might have to come out and do a little staycation with you in San Diego.
Oh, yes, please do. So a little bit about me. I guess I'm more of a big city girl kind of now. I've lived in San Diego Los Angeles for 13 years, and I lived in San Diego for 10 years before that. So pretty much my adult life has been in, big cities, but I grew up in a very rural community in the Central Coast, California, which a lot of people aren't very familiar with. So I grew up in a little tiny town called Los Osos, where there was 3 stoplights. There's no sidewalks. I know many of you that are not from California might think, wait, that exists in California? It does. And it's really unique because, well, it is on the coast. So
Mhm.
it's on the beach. There's a bay right there, but it's also in a agricultural community. So most of
Okay.
Central Coast California is an agricultural community.
Mhm.
Many of you have heard of Cal Poly, San Luis Obispo. That's the big city to us. That's where we would go for anything because we didn't have a Starbucks or a McDonald's or a movie theater or anything. So we would drive about 20 miles to San Luis Obispo where all the fun was at.
Mm.
So yeah, that's kind of it's weird when I think about it because I don't totally connect to that part of my life. But that is how I grew up and where I grew up. Um, so then a little bit more about me. I am, I think, sixth generation Latinx. I don't know what terminology you guys are using where you are at, but
We are
we
the
have
Latinx Education
you.
Collaborative.
Oh, okay. Yes, that's true. That's true. And now I don't know if you know, but now the terminology is also shifting to Latine, and so
Mhm.
there might be a change there. But I kind of identify as Chicana. That is the word that I would identify more as. Although I'm in education, and I'm in working with young adult population, and so I also try to use language that they're more familiar with. But
Sure.
um, so I'm sixth generation. My family never crossed the border. The border crossed us. My family is from Texas, both my mom and my dad's side. They're both their family of origin is Mexican, but when they were in Texas when Texas was Mexico, right?
Mhm.
So border crossed them. They stayed there for a couple of generations, and my grandparents' generation moved to California, both of my mom and my dad's side. Not together, they didn't know each other at the time, but it's interesting that they have similar migration stories.
Okay.
But they both came to California, and then my great grandparents were either born here or in California, or they were came here at like when they were a baby.
Mhm.
Um, and and my parents then were born and raised here in California. And so, but they were raised in extreme poverty.
Mhm.
Neither one of my family members graduated high school. I mean, my parents, my mother or my father graduated high school. They dropped out early, and my mom was a teen mom. Um, my dad never went back to school. My mom did later go back and get her GED, and then she later, after I graduated, she went to back to college in I think in her 50s
Mhm.
and got her nursing degree, which I'm very proud of her. So yeah, that's a little bit about me. I went to San Diego when I was 18. I got in my car the week I graduated high school, and I drove to Southern California to San Diego, and I found a place to live that day through the newspaper.
Wow.
And I moved into some person's garage and started going to, I got into San Diego State right away out of high school, but I didn't go because it was too much money.
Mm.
So I went to a junior college in San Diego for 3 years, took a year off, worked in social services, traveled a bit, went to Mexico, learned Spanish, learned more about my culture, and then came back to San Diego, got my bachelor's as you talked about, and my master's degree. So that's a little bit about my journey here.
Awesome. What a great story. You hear a lot, and I love the fact when you said we didn't cross the border, the border crossed us. I
Mhm.
have a lot of friends in Texas, and that is definitely something I've heard them say and share. And then the story of going from Texas and going to California as two separate family units doing that and being able to still land there and create community. So that's awesome. And the brave, your courage to then just say, okay, I'm going to go to San Diego and I'm going to go find a place to live and start a whole new life there or a segment of my life there to go to school. So that's cool. Totally cool. Totally
Thanks.
Chicana of you.
I love that.
And so yeah, and so I just saw somebody pop on and there said, "Hey, San Diego here."
Hey.
So yeah, so I love that. what made you decide to choose social work as a field of study?
Ooh, I love that question. I answer it every day with or every semester with my students. But I had a social worker when I was in high school, and she is the reason I graduated high school. Like, she is the reason I went to college. She is the reason I became a social worker. And I hope I get a video of this, so that a recording of this, so I can share it with her, actually. Um, but she I my sister was pregnant when she was 14, and I was the younger sibling, so I was 13. And so I was put into a program, and it was a sibling prevention program, because the statistics say that when one child is a teenage mom, there I think it increases the likelihood of the second sibling to be a teenage mom by, like, you know, I don't remember the percentage, but a lot more. So they created this program. I was assigned a social worker, and she followed me from my freshman year of high school to my senior year of high school. And she met with me every other week for 4 years, pretty much. Um, and we went through a curriculum together that was pretty much, yes, it was sex education, but sorry, I think it was mostly focused on, like, your identity formation and understanding your strengths and knowing what career paths are out there for you. And so I remember telling her that I was planning to just be a mom. And I thought, I didn't expect to graduate high school, and actually thought I would just get pregnant and have babies. And the community that I grew up in at that time had the highest teen pregnancy rate of all of California. um, we were close to the city that would be Santa Maria, in the Central Coast, and I was a tiny town outside of that. But and so it was kind of what I expected, and I thought my mom was a teen mom, my grandma was a teen mom, my sister's a teen mom. Like, this is just what we do. Also, it's a small town. We don't really see like success, or, I don't know. So I didn't really know what else was out there. And she really helped me to see that I could do anything. And she even said, you don't have to follow the path of your family. You can pave your own path. You can create whatever life you want. And it seems so simple. I never knew that was an option. That was an eye opener, her statement to me, that I could do that. And so just that statement, I was like, oh, okay. Okay, so what are my options, right? And I realized, like, man, you have a cool job. Like, you just sit and talk to teenagers all day. Like, I want that job. And so I looked into become a social worker, and I knew I wanted to be a social worker probably ever since I was like 16. So it was just the path I was following.
That's awesome. What a great story. I mean, think about all the pieces that made that story up, and right, and we're going to talk about storytelling, but you're talking about changing the
Trajectory.
yes, that's the word, and it always gets stuck, I don't know why, of a human being's life. I
Yeah.
mean, you really she helped you rewrite that, and, changed what your kids experience, and maybe your nieces and nephews and everything else around you, so bravo to whoever. If you wanna shout out her name, you can definitely.
Oh, her name is Dana Allen. She currently lives in oh, she's gonna be so mad at me because I
No,
always
don't
forget
give
the
her
state.
address out.
She moved
But she's in
she moved to
California.
not in California anymore.
Oh, okay.
But anyways, yeah, so Dana Allen, love you, thank you, appreciate you.
Yeah, and isn't that, I mean, we're an educational, organization, and my role here is to support young teachers who are entering the workforce, right? And that statement, what you said, is to basically saying that Dana saw your humanity, saw your capacity, and then guided you in a way that you could then rewrite your story to be here today as you are. And I think that's just phenomenal how people can touch lives in that way, and never and we never really see that or think about it, and the impact it has. So, talk to us a little bit about your work now. And you're at the university, correct? Am I saying that
Mhm.
correctly? Yeah.
Yes.
And what can you say? What college or university you're at?
Sure. Yeah. I'm at Cal State Long Beach,
Okay.
California State University Long Beach, which is in Los Angeles County. It's kind of like between LA County and Orange County, so very south in LA County.
Okay.
And I've been there about 7 years. Prior to that, I mean, the 20 years prior to that, I was in social services and I worked with mostly teenagers, young adults,
Hmm.
mostly who experience homelessness or mental health issues, kids in foster care, kids on probation, and you can see why now that you hear my story, right? So that was my path for a very long time. I got pregnant with my third child, and at that time, I was managing four programs,
Hmm.
four separate programs, and I was on call 24/7, doing suicide holds at 2 o'clock in the morning,
Hmm.
and I was like, oh, I'm pregnant with my third child. I can't do this anymore. I need something with a little more a stable of schedule and
Hmm.
not as intense. And so looked into, I saw that Cal State Long Beach was teaching in the school of social work. And I thought, th- there's no way they're going to hire me. That I'm going to throw in my resume, but there's no way. I just kind of threw in the resume, not thinking I would get a call. And then I got a call and I was shocked and they wanted to interview me. But my first thought was, as soon as they see me, because they're going to look at my resume, because I've been in social services since I was 18. That's all the jobs I've had. So I look like I'm 60 years old on my resume. And they're going to look at me and say, who's this little Latina girl thinking she can be a professor? Because at the time, a long time ago, in when I was in the school of social work, I there was no Hispanic professors. There was no professors of color. Every professor was white that I
Hmm.
had. So I didn't my perspective of what a professor was certainly not me. And I thought when they saw me, they would think I tricked them. And that I certainly wouldn't get the job. But that wasn't the case. I went into that interview extremely calm because I was like, they're not gonna hire me. So I wasn't anxious at all. And
Hmm.
there was 13 people in the interview sitting around this table and me at the end. And they hired me and I've been there for 7 years. And I have several roles on campus. So I teach full time in the school of social work, but I also, for the past 2 years, am the co director for now what we call inclusive excellence at Cal State Long Beach in the College of Health and Human Services. And I also just this year got elected to be the co-chair for the Latinx Faculty and Staff Association. So, oh, as well as a commissioner for the President's Commission on Equity and Change.
Awesome.
Yeah.
See, aren't you glad that you didn't listen to yourself, that they wouldn't want you?
Yes. So glad. So glad.
So you can take that learning experience for yourself and transfer it. And this is something I say all the time to people. I say it to people when talking to them about career choices. And I'm like, don't take yourself out of the lineup.
Nope. Nope.
Stay in the lineup, let them give you a bat, and let your experience, your knowledge, your capacity to do whatever it is, let that be your example to them.
Yeah.
Because when we take ourselves out of the game, and I'm sorry, a lot of sports analogies, but when we take ourselves out of the game, they'll never know how good of a hitter we are, how good of a pitcher we are, what type of teammate we are, because we never showed up. We never, even bothered to even try out. So I
Yeah.
love the fact that you stuck it out, and I loved how you said it looks like I'm 60 on my paper, but in reality, I'm like what 28 or whatever.
Oh
Um,
my. So I'll tell you I'm 42. But I love that you thought I was 28. Thanks.
hey, I always say brown. We don't frown that much.
Brown. I was like, wait, we can't say we don't crack because it doesn't rhyme, but
No, no,
brown don't
brown
crack.
don't frown is what I
Love it.
always say. Um, but no, I mean just the beauty of that and the lives you can touch, and um, and make the changes, and stepping forward and stepping up. And yes, this is what people um, thought that I would end up, but in reality, this is me writing my story, not allowing the statistics or the general flow of things how it happened. So I think that's a beautiful way to combine all of that experience and knowledge and whatnot to keep going forward. So tell us then, one, um, what brought you to Expresión? First, even before that, how did you find out about it in California? And because we're over here in Missouri, and what brought you to it? And then what was your takeaway from it? So, three-part question.
Okay. Okay. I can't tell you exactly how I found out. I think what happened was I think I was just looking for, I don't know if I was on LinkedIn or if I was, it might have been LinkedIn. I just wanted to start joining groups on LinkedIn and groups that had people that I could feel connected to. And so I think I did a search of like Latinx educators or Latinx social workers, and I just kind of joined groups with
Okay.
people that I could identify. And then somehow I ended up on a mailing list, and I started getting all these emails from the what is it? I forgot the name of it. The LRC, is that what it is?
LEC, Latinx
LEC.
Education Collaborative. Yeah.
Okay. And I was like, where did these come from? But I just kept them. And then I wanted to join. I kept on wanting to join so many of these awesome events. And I'm like, uh, they're in Kansas, or I don't, what, some other state? What state is it?
Missouri,
Okay.
right next
I'm
door.
I'm a typical Californian in that if you're not California or like Florida or New York, like it's all the same. I don't know. I'm not,
Yes.
everyone's going to hate me right now.
No,
Um,
don't no hating, but just sometimes we have to educate you that there are Chicanos out here, there are Latinx, there are Latine,
I learned
Latinos,
that.
Hispanics. Yep, been
I've
here for a
learned
while.
that. So I saw these great events happening, and I'm like, it's in another state. I can't go. And then I saw that there was this virtual option to join, and then it was about storytelling. And I am a big proponent of storytelling. We teach critical race theory in the school of social work, and part of critical race theory is this idea of counter narratives, which is this value of storytelling, but for the purpose of like challenging biases and assumptions that others may have, right?
Mhm.
And so it's already something that was integrated into like my curriculum and what I do with my students and what I teach them. But I never really did it for myself. And so I had this opportunity to engage in it, and I did, and it was one of the best experiences I've had in a long time.
What's one thing that you walked away with learning from that fellowship?
Oh my gosh. I like
Or
when I think
six,
about it.
whatever.
No, so many things. I don't know if it's learning exactly. It is more of the process. It was the experience that was the most beneficial to me. Oh, and hearing everyone's stories and the connections that I made with all of the individuals, different connections.
Mhm.
It was, I will say it was, and I'm a therapist. It was like group therapy. It was like group therapy. I hope this doesn't turn anyone off in a sense, but it requires vulnerability. It requires transparency. And in that, I love Brene Brown, and Brene Brown says that vulnerability and transparency breed connection.
Mm,
And you've experienced that in that space. Like you develop such a connection with the others, even it's via Zoom and they're in other states.
mhm.
It's amazing. And then also you're you're reflecting upon your own life story in a way that most of us don't do at
Right.
all, right? And so even a therapist, so it was also healing for me.
Awesome. That I just love all of that. I mean, the connections, the therapy, the healing. I was at a conference earlier today, and they talked a lot about healing. Um, having the giving yourself the grace and permission to kind of just go through our stuff and heal from that, and then take it and use it as you continue to grow. So I love that whole idea of that's what you pulled from it, was that healing and the connections. You could probably reach out to any one of those people that were a part of your fellowship and be
Yes.
able to, reconnect and say, okay, I need to walk through this. I need to get a sense of what this means or how I can integrate it into my learning or my teaching or what have you. So that's phenomenal. Good job. Um, the applications will start to open up towards the end of the year. And so I encourage everybody to look at socials. You said you found it on LinkedIn and you kind of just ran across it. What would be a piece of advice for somebody who might be waffling whether they participate in it?
Mm, do it. Just do it. Just
Just
do
do
it,
it.
like Mikey says.
Yeah.
Um, it is a lot of work,
Okay.
but it's not about the work, it's about the process. And I will say I didn't even finish my story in the end. I didn't finish it. I have I will finish it. I have not finished it, but it doesn't even matter because it's not about the end product, the end result. It's about the process, and I wouldn't trade that process in for anything.
Yeah. Okay, Luis and Yvonne. She said she was going to finish it, so that's your facilitators. um, What do you remember the time commitment? You said it was a lot of work. Can you share? Do you remember?
Gosh, if I
Everything is done
remember.
virtually. So for those of you who are, some Martin Clark said, "I'm San Diego's here." You can be from anywhere in the United States, and I keep trying to promote. If you're overseas and you see this and you want to join, we could kind of figure that out. Um, oh, oh no, I just lost you. I lost your visual, Jessica. But so it's all virtual. It's on Saturdays. I believe there are 9 Saturdays that you're required to participate in, and then the facilitators will walk you through the process of how to write a story. And I don't know what the focus is because everybody's focus is different, and be able to share that or engage with a larger group to have those conversations. I think we lost Jessica, but like all our storytellers, this is a journey that you have to be ready, and sometimes you don't even know that you're ready, but it just calls to you and brings you to this. We are at the close of our conversation today, and I'm really bummed that we lost connection with Jessica. I will encourage everyone to follow our socials. The recording for this will be available shortly or later today. We do have some events coming up. So a week from Saturday, so October the 18th, is our annual Evolucion. This year we are doing it 100% virtual, and we are going to have several storytellers participate in that. So if you have a question or if you're interested in finding out a little bit about our storytelling fellowship, join us on Saturday the 18th. You will hear from amazing, amazing storytellers that we have been working with over the last 5 years. Our keynote is Luis Ortega, Storytellers for America. I know I said that wrong, Luis. I apologize if you see this. And he will be our keynote speaker for our Evolucion program on the 18th. It is 10 a.m. to noon Central Time. So you can be in your pajamas or you can be, wherever you are. But it's all online, and we are asking people to register so that we can send you all the contact information of how to do that. So there it is across the bottom. Thank you, Isabella. leckc.org/EVO25, EVO Evolucion, abbreviation 25. And that is on Saturday, the 18th. We do have our book club the following week after that, and that is on the book up. If I can grab the book here. I Am Yo Soy by Gabby Orozco Belt. Gabby is the author of the book, and we will do a 3-part series of I Am Yo Soy book club starting October 25th. And you'll go to leckc.org/events to register for that. There you go. Oh, I'm sorry, event, not events. And you can register for the book club. And that is a 3-part series with the author. We have other events, local events. So always please check our socials so that you can find out how to get engaged, when to get engaged, or if you want to get engaged with the LEC, RevEd, and our sister organization, the Chicano Center for the Arts. So that is all for today. Thank you all very much for participating. Jessica, if you hear this later, thank you so much for sharing your story with us. We greatly appreciate it. Thank you all, and have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. Talk to you later.